Welcome back, friends, to another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Cloud of Darkness to see how worthy she is of your precious tickets and or gems. Before I do get into it though, friends, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Now, Cloud of Darkness is going to be making a comeback with a very spicy alternative costume. I need to pick this thing up, but she will be receiving an LD weapon, and she is our next burst character. Now, Cloud of Darkness in Opera Omnia is a magic attacker with delays built into her kit. Now, the way you're going to be playing Cloud of Darkness is you want to be focusing on building up her special effect, Darkness. You want to build up the stacks of that special effect. Now, in order to do that, you can do that with everything, pretty much everything in her kit except her skill 2 and her additional ability. All those other abilities will grant her 1 stack of Darkness upon use, and if you happen to inflict a break with said ability, this will grant her an additional stack of Darkness. If the enemy is already broken but you need to cancel the break status, you can do so by using her additional ability and her LD ability, which we'll talk about later. Now, when it comes to those delays, she can do that with her skill 2 and her EX ability. With her skill 2, there are 2 variants of this. When her stacks are at 4 or less, this will be wide angle particle beam. This will delay all the targets for 1 turn. When you're at 5 stacks of Darkness, this will upgrade to zero form particle beam, which will delay 1 target, so more damage against 1 target, but it will delay that target for 3 turns instead. Now, that zero form particle beam, you can use this ability for free. Wide angle particle beam is not free. Its upgraded form is free to use. Also, something to keep in mind is upon using any of these versions, this will consume 5 stacks of Darkness, so you have to start over. Well, I guess it depends where you're at in the stacks, but we'll talk about it later. Now, when it comes to her EX ability, anti-air particle beam, this will delay 1 target for 1 turn. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at her 2 buffs pre-LD. One of them is Annuling Power that she grants herself with her first ability and Insulating Appendages for 6 turns. This is going to increase her max Brave and attack by 60%. Her Brave and HP attack will be upgraded, and while this is active, she will now counter HP attacks. Her other framed buff that she grants herself with her EX ability, Anti-Air Particle Beam, she will Flood of Darkness for 6 turns will further increase her attack by 50%, and there is going to be poison brave damage on the enemies by 80% of int brave. Now, that special effect, Darkness, this is a permanent special effect out on the field, max stacks being at 5 currently, and what this does is that this will increase her stolen max brave overflow per stack by 10%, but keep in mind that the stolen max brave overflow stat will not keep counting up above 5 stacks, alright friends, and once you are at 5 stacks of Darkness, this will upgrade her second ability like we just talked about. Now, with her brand new LD weapon, her LD ability, High Speed Particle Beam, she will have 4 uses of this. This will cancel all the enemy's break status. This is going to be a 4-hit magic AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack executed twice. This will increase Darkness stacks by 5, and this can exceed the max 5 stack limit by only by using her LD ability. Her standard kit cannot exceed 5 stacks. Her LD ability can. So I was playing around with this. I was able to get to like 25 stacks of Darkness. So that means her second ability, you can literally spam that for free, at least until you start dropping below 5 stacks. So this can carry over into her burst mode. Alright, so just something to keep in mind if you want to seriously delay the enemies. Now, also with her LD ability, this will recover 1 use of her first ability, Insulating Appendages, and she will gain access to a new buff called Balance from Ruin for 12 turns. This is going to increase her attack by 20%, increase the HP damage she deals by 20%. Her critical brave damage will be increased by 50%, and whenever she breaks a target, this will null her action delay. Even if it's not her turn, she will jump up, right? She will be next, and this will grant her an additional free turn. Now, something to keep in mind is that when you break a target inside that additional free turn, this will not grant an additional free turn. Also, with her LD ability buff, this will improve her counter mechanic. This will now be a 3-hit magic Brave plus HP attack that will Brave heal her by 30% of HP damage dealt. When it comes to her boards, when the quest starts, she will gain access to her LD ability buff for 6 turns. This will improve her high speed particle beam, so it's going to do more damage with Brave healing in between HP attacks. And there is going to be a slight improvement to her special effect. While it's at 5 stacks, this will further increase her HP damage by 10%, stacking with her LD ability buff, totaling out at 30% HP damage up. When it comes to her call actions, her standard call action from her skill, wide angle particle beam, it's lots of beams, guys, lasers, right? That's her call action, wide angle particle beam. It will delay all the enemies for 1 turn, but there is nothing for the caller, no caller effect for that. When it comes to her LD call action, high speed particle beam, she's going to come in, cancel all the enemies break status, deal the damage. I'm not going to lie, with the caller effect, my 3 sources that I usually go to, they had different stats, okay, when it came to the caller effect. So I'm going to go with the Leo Bob's translations for this one. It's usually my go-to for the JP side of the game. Thank you. All those wonderful links will be down below in the description. Now, the caller effect for 3 turns, they're going to receive a 20% attack up, 20% HP damage up, and 20% critical brave damage up. So not bad to further increase one of your attacking type characters' stats or their damage. Now when it comes to her burst ability, Ultra Particle Beam, there is a burst effect for 5 turns for herself. And this reads as, after a party member acts against a target, this will trigger a follow-up attack from Cloud of Darkness. So imagine like Noctis, but an AoE sweep, alright? So this follow-up attack is a 5-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack that will Brave Heal Cloud of Darkness by 30% of total HP damage dealt. This follow-up will also increase her Darkness stacks by 1. If you break a target, this will increase it by an additional stack. Cannot initiate a chase sequence, but this can trigger even if another unit is in their burst mode. So let's say, for example, you bring in a friend support Cloud of Darkness, you go into your own burst mode, that Cloud of Darkness will be doing this follow-up attack every time your character attacks during their own burst mode. Now, something to keep in mind, I guess this is more of a little bit of gameplay thing, that be careful if you're in her burst effect state. And if she breaks something, if you don't want to burn through her burst effect, because with her LD ability buff, as you guys saw, is that whenever she breaks something, she will jump up ahead and turn and get a free turn. So just make sure the enemies are broken if you want to try to benefit or try to get the most out of her burst effect, just because it's on her, right? So to take full advantage of it, you don't want her to act, or you want it to act as minimal as possible. All right, friends, so just a little bit of a gameplay tip to throw out there. If you have any other tips, down below in the comments. Now, when it comes to the worthiness of Cloud of Darkness, first and foremost, remember, friends, that I am going to be repeating this portion up until the Worthiness Plus era, just in case viewers haven't seen it before in the past. I am upgrading my Worthy meter to its Worthy meter Plus, because the Worthiness Plus era is about 2 months away, and all of the current units in the game, at least the ones coming up, pre-Worthiness Plus, they're all great units. They're all good units to have on your team compositions. So for that reason alone, I do believe now is a good time to have harsher judgments upon these characters that are releasing with their brand new weapons. But at the end of the day, friends, it is your stash. Enjoy the game with your favorite units, right? I mean, if you love Zell, hey, by all means. But he is going to be getting some love soon. So anywho, now when it comes to the worthiness of Cloud of Darkness, first and foremost, there is no free multi-draw. On this banner, I checked the slides, the Square Enix community slides. There was no confirmation of a free multi-draw, so nope. GG, rip, uninstall the damn game. I'm just kidding, friends. But when it comes to Cloud of Darkness worthiness, I'm going to say just at the lower end of the worthy meter. Now, first and foremost, Cloud of Darkness is a great magic attacker. Beautiful magic attacker, okay? She has capabilities to increase her own stats, her own brave damage, 50% for critical brave damage up to 30% HP damage up as long as she's at 5 stacks of darkness. She has a lot of utility in the form of delay. She can either delay single target by 1 turn, delay all the enemies by 1 turn, or delay 1 target by 3 turns. If you stack up her darkness stacks and go into her burst mode, right? Then you can constantly spam her second ability to seriously delay the enemy as much as possible. But be careful of that if the enemy needs to take a turn in order for that enemy to increase the Worthiness counter. That being said, we kind of sort of just got a character right now that has off-turn damage, kind of like Cloud of Darkness's burst effect, but on a cheaper scale. That in that form, that he only needs his base kit, his EX weapon, to do the off-turn damage. Of course, you need his LD weapon to do the maximum brave damage, but Cloud of Darkness off-turn damage is going to come from her burst effects. So he kind of threw a curveball, and I believe that kind of drops the value of Cloud of Darkness, because if it was just standard, I would have thrown her like way up here, much more up here. But due to core and possibly your resources, I would seriously probably throw tickets for Cloud of Darkness, or if she is an absolute favorite, then, you know, by all freaking means. That being said, she does repeat later down the line. She is a Burst Plus character. I think about 2 months into the Lufenia Plus era, she's going to be the other Burst unit alongside, or the other banner I should be saying, when Vayne gets his Burst Plus. That's when she is going to get a rework to her first ability. She's going to see changes to her LD boards. And of course, she's going to be a Burst Plus character, meaning you can use her finished burst as an actual ability, do the sweep, and then go into an actual burst mode. And then she does come back again around the Theodore Burst Plus timeline. So there are other opportunities to pick her up. All right, friends. So I would say if you are absolutely broke right now, do not stress yourselves in trying to chase her, especially if you have core. She is an amazing friend support unit. If you were going to be chasing after and you do happen to have core, I mean, put them on the same damn team composition. But I will say that due to us having core and her being an amazing friend support, I wouldn't necessarily go too crazy for her unless she is a favorite. All right, friends. So that's where I'm going to leave her on my worth meter. That being said, that is it for this video, friends. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys watching my coverage of Cloud of Darkness. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments your overall thoughts. Me personally, I do like Cloud of Darkness. I love her costume. It's gorgeous. I loved using her on the JP side of the game. So me personally, I am going to be throwing a lot of tickets for her LD weapon, and I'll probably use burst tokens for her burst weapon. Again, I like using her JP side of the game. Her burst mode music is awesome. And come on, who doesn't want maximum gil from friend supports being used every single day? No? Just me? Nobody cares about guild anymore? Gosh damn it. So, alright friends, so remember all your wonderful comments down below. And until next time, friends, good luck and have a good one.